Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. Beyonce and Rihanna's supposed fight, and sources near Sovereign B are at long last clearing up everything on why Beyonce quit showing adoration to rehash back in February. He said he figured everybody ought to help her in that wreck with Chris Brown. What is your opinion about that entire situation? Well, I believe she's improving. Bits of gossip about Beyonce covertly detesting on Rihanna have been twirling for a really long time, and there's forever been a ton of hypothesis about the motivation behind why these two were never Beth's Horton, and there are things that I still feel really awkward. Discussing are a few insiders at first guaranteed that Riri got a bit excessively near Beyonce's hubby Jay-Z. Anyway, a marketing specialist who worked for Rihanna later exposed these cases, so on the off chance that Rihanna never meddled with Jay-Z. For what reason doesn't Sovereign Honeybee like her? For what reason doesn't Beyonce openly support Rihanna? We should get into it. That you seriously love Beyonce, I love her. The discussion encompassing Beyonce's supposed quarrel with Rihanna is yet again warming up in a few new reports as of late, focusing another light on why Beyonce could do without Riri. To give you some setting, Rihanna used to love Beyonce, and in the beginning of her vocation, she frequently referred to Sovereign B as one of her greatest motivations. After Riri tried out for Jay-Z in 2005, Jay marked her on the spot, and he and his group went through the following 3 months recording Rihanna's presentation collection, Music of the Sun. At some point during this interaction, Rihanna became acquainted with Beyonce. Rihanna guaranteed in those days that Beyonce was really sweet and even offered her some important guidance on performing live. No doubt she truly thought of me with this adorable little letter, and she marked it with her signature. It was so charming. When I initially met her and she composed, she was letting me know, just set free when you perform and simply have a good time and be in charge anyway. As Rihanna got greater, Beyonce clearly turned cold and quit showing affection to Riri. And afterward, not long after the music came out, tales gave the idea that Rihanna and Jay-Z were covertly connecting, but Beyonce didn't openly comment on these reports. In 2006, she delivered her second independent collection, B-Day, which highlighted 2 tunes about swindling disdain and ringing the caution, and there was a ton of hypothesis in those days that the melodies were about Rihanna, and Jay-Z conceded years after the fact on his Collection 444 that he did for sure undermine Beyonce. The bits of gossip about his issue with Rihanna were exposed by Ariana's previous marketing expert, Jonathan Fee, and the character of Jay's paramour was never affirmed by Ruffage. He by and by made up reports about Jay messing around with Rihanna, and he said it was a PR stunt that he exposed distress to assist with breaking Pond or Replay. However, in the event that the tales about Jay's undertaking with Rihanna were a PR stunt, for what reason does Beyonce actually appear to hold some sort of resentment against Riri? Well, many fans have called attention to how it's unusual that Beyonce and Rihanna never teamed up, and Beyonce never at any point tried to crush the fight tales. Sure, Beyonce doesn't even try to address anything nowadays, yet it was clear she would have rather not shown any adoration to Rihanna. As a matter of fact, when Beyonce let Beau fall down in 2019, fans were persuaded the track was aimed at Riri, and other female vocalist fans additionally felt like the verses were excessively much in light of the fact that Beyonce, a self-declared women's activist, was calling different ladies the B word, and essentially letting them know they need to venerate her in the event that you need to express kneel. There's compelling reason need to kneel. It resembles, it's like on the off chance that you call yourself diva, then you're not exactly a diva. There's sure things that needn't bother with to be said. I mean, half a month prior she was singing at the initiation, then she was performing at the Super Bowl. We celebrate you're on a Pepsi can for the love anyway. When Beyonce was asked to make sense of for what reason she composed this melody, she said it wasn't so much that serious, and that she just awakened one day with a furious serenade in her mind and chose to deliver her dissatisfactions in the studio. The explanation I put out, Neil, is on the grounds that I awakened. I went into the studio, I had a serenade in my mind. It was forceful, it was furious. It wasn't the Beyonce that gets up each day. It was the Beyonce that was irate. It was the Beyonce that wanted to shield herself, and assuming this tune never comes out okay. I said it, and I paid attention to it after I got done. And I said, this is hot, Emma put it out. I won't sell it, I will just put it out. Individuals like it extraordinary, they don't, and I will not do it consistently in light of the fact that that is not who I am, yet triumph. Ultimately, this last year, songwriting siblings, Rock City, who recorded Beau, uncovered that they composed this melody for Rihanna anyway. she turned it down and Beyonce some way or another snagged it Rock City, who likewise composed Rihanna's Hitsman down. We Can't Pause and Replay said in a digital broadcast interview that they composed the tune shortly and expected to convey it to Rihanna for her impending collection. As a matter of fact, one of the siblings said he had never met Beyonce and was composing Bow Down explicitly for Rihanna. All in all, Beyonce lied when she said she awakened one day with the thought of kneeling in her mind. So in addition to the fact that Beyonce took credit from Rock City, she gloated about composing something in a real sense that Rihanna rejected. So it's not shocking that Riri felt by and by called out after Beyonce said this, and not long after Neil dropped. Rhea tweeted, "I just skilled to be #1. I could utilize a test. How that vibe down there, kneeling down Hugh. Neil, in the event that you're an OG enthusiast of Riri, you realize she was a savage in those days. And she was hauling individuals on Twitter. Each and every other day, anyway. Rihanna is likewise one of the realest celebs out there, and each time she got hauled into some wreck, it was exclusively to safeguard herself. Additionally, when Rihanna was subsequently approached by Vogue to address the quarrel bits of hearsay about her and Beyonce, she said the entire situation was senseless and clarified she's not the sort for fixate on her opposition. Here's the arrangement: they simply get so eager to devour something negative. Rihanna told Bo something serious. Something that is, a competition. Riri then, at that point, proceeded to say that is simply not what I awakened to in light of the fact that I can do me and no other person will be ready to do that. Clearly Rihanna didn't feel compromised by Beyonce, and by this point she was ready to move on all anyway. Beyonce is supposedly still not over it, and right up to the present day she will not give Rihanna her blossoms. When Rihanna performed at the current year's Super Bowl, Jay-Z and Blue Ivy were there to observe anyway. Beyonce remained at home. Fans likewise anticipated that Jay should join Rihanna in front of an audience, what's more, play out their collab umbrella. Yet that didn't occur, and a few sources estimated that Sovereign B unequivocally told Jay he shouldn't be visible remotely close to Rihanna. Now these were likely tales. In light of the fact that by the day's end Rihanna had no visitors at her Super Bowl execution, and that was presumably her choice anyway, the reports about Beyonce's feeling some sort of way about Rihanna. As prosperity continued, and one insider near the circumstance as of late chosen to put any misinformation to rest, and uncovered that this boils down to one thing: Beyonce's uncertainty. The source guaranteed that in spite of Beyonce's outward certainty, she's quite shaky and feels compromised by resilient ladies who express their genuine thoughts, like Rihanna, according to the insider. Beyonce has a long history of undermining other female specialists, and she even supposedly persuaded Jay-Z to release Rihanna's 8 studio collection and tie in front of the booked date so it wouldn't eclipse the rollout of development. However, that is not every one of a man who goes by the name of Uncle Ron and who purportedly functioned as Beyonce's protector some time ago, as of late became a web sensation on TikTok in the wake of making a progression of unstable charges against Beyonce. See, Uncle Ron said Beyonce and Jay-Z obliterated numerous craftsman vocations en route to the top, and he name-dropped Terry Hilson, guaranteeing that Beyonce disrupted Carrie in light of the fact that she was undermined by her. Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to annihilate anybody who takes a stand in opposition to them. Okay, I surmise dangers. Yet you need to remember one thing. I know your most profound mysteries. I know such a great deal about you and what you've done. I know such a huge amount about how you got to where you are and the means by which you stepped on many individuals. Beyonce, how have you all finished Carrie Hilson's profession since she expressed something about you? That is the way derisive you folks are, the way you step on anyone to remain on top, by the manner in which Carrie herself conceded in a new meeting that she was maneuvered toward delivering a diss track about Beyonce. And this was purportedly completely arranged by Beyonce's group, so that fans would turn on Carrie. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.